Are you serious? Are you serious? Do you feel the pain of Spain? Because that's what's happening, folks. Seriously, seriously, tens of thousands of Catalans are taking to the streets to protest the police action in Spain. They've had enough of Madrid's rules, Madrid's taxes, and the region there of the Catalonia is changing their mind. They want out of Spain. They want their independence. They no longer want to be under the authority of the king. Now, tens of thousands of people took to the streets in Catalonia on today to protest against Sunday's violent crackdown when they tried to hold their own vote. The crackdown was done by the Spanish police on an outlawed independence referendum for their region. Nobody could, can I say something, time out? Do you really believe any country would let any group of people vote whether they want to stay in the union or not? To stay in the country? Do you really think that? They'll never allow that, okay? So to get your independence, the old saying is this. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. There's only one way to get your independence. You have to forcibly demand it. And when a country is to the point where the people are not satisfied, to the point they can't take it anymore, they rise up. I'm not saying that all protests are beneficial. And a lot of times people think they want independence, and it ends up taking them down a road that they wish they didn't go down. But there's a situation developing in Spain here, folks. Something's caused Catalonia to decide they no longer want to be under the kingdom of Spain. The metro stations were shut down in Barcelona today. Pickets blocked dozens of roads. State workers just walked out in response to a call for a general strike by pro-independence groups and trade unions. Many small businesses closed their doors for the day. And Catalonia, Spain, the richest region in the entire country, has its own language and its own culture and its own political movement for reasons. And they want to succeed. They want succession. And that is strengthened in recent years. I'm going to tell you why. They're the most wealthiest region of the whole nation. And they are the most heavily taxed. They are carrying the burden of the rest of the country. And also, you need to know, Spain is $2 trillion in debt. They are the 10th largest debted nation on the planet. And yet their GP, their gross the gross product is not near in comparison to what America, with its $21 trillion in debt, but our economies, the economy of scale is nowhere close. Spain is broke, busted, and disgusted. And the Catalonia, Spain, is saying, you know what? We need out of this kingdom. We need to be our own little country. We can manage our own business, and we can get on with life. And the rest of Spain can deal with their own issues because we're tired of carrying them. And that's really the situation you have here, folks. Get right down to it. That is the bottom line. Well, and they have different culture, and they speak a different language, and they just don't feel, it just isn't working for them. So pro-independence parties who control the regional government staged Sunday's referendum in defiance of Spanish courts that had ruled it illegal. And some 900 people were injured even Sunday on the polling day when police fired rubber bullets and charged at the crowds with truncheons to disrupt the vote. They broke into their polling places, shattering their windows, beating people over the head with batons, and really stopping their ability to hold their own vote. Now, opinion polls conducted before the vote suggested only a minority of around 40% of the residents in the region backed the independence, although a majority want a referendum to be held. They want a vote to be held, okay? But protesters now say that the violent police crackdown on Sunday has energized the entire region in Catalonia. And what happened on October 1st has fired up the independence feeling now that will never die, said an 18-year-old student, Monica Ventink, who attended the protest Tuesday. Catalan leader Carlos Puigdemont has said that the referendum is valid and its result must be implemented. And Spain's constitutional court prohibits the ballot, siding with Madrid, the capital, which argued that its country's 1978 constitution bars breaking up this country. There are 17 different provinces in Spain. Now, folks, this is equivalent to, let's say, Texas decided it wanted out of the United States. Whoops, I'm sorry. Texas isn't even a part of the United States. I forgot. They're the Lone Star State. Okay? All right. So let's say it's New York, or let's say it's Florida. Okay? And they just say, forget it. We want to be our own little country. We can handle our own business. Well, obviously, the United States is not going to allow that to happen. But you really would have a problem on your hands. And the more you watch what debt does, if a nation doesn't get its debt under control and starts to try to put the burden on certain people's backs, at some point, you break the camel's back, okay? At some point, people say, look, I'm tired of working overtime and paying high taxes, and half the population or more don't work or don't even try, okay? There's a reason for all things, but you can get way off balance. And what's happened here is Spain is out of balance. So is Greece. So is Portugal. And so is Italy. And if we're not careful, so will America. Okay, so there's a lot to watch here. There's a lot to keep your eye on. This could go to this. I'm telling you, this is a nation on the brink. This is a nation on the brink, folks. So be in prayer for the people in Spain, that cooler heads prevail, and that some type of compromise can be brought in to allow each region govern itself, like we do in America. Each state governs itself, but we're all part of the United States, okay? That's how it works. All right. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're certainly living in the last days. Are you serious? Pray for Spain.